Welcome everybody to Board Game School's continued series on Magic Realm, playing Magic Realm in Realmspeak and Tabletop Simulator. This is episode 5b, where we're going to play a game of Magic Realm in Tabletop Simulator and running it manually. So it's mostly a playthrough, but it's also a semi-tutorial in that I will show you the process and the order of which you run things manually. So let's jump in here. Let's go in the workshop. I'm using this instead of the Karim redesign that we did last time to manually set up. We're going to use the Magic Realm Karim's Redesign, Remastered, and Scripted mod. This was also designed by Kevin Jack, who goes by PSYREK in the BGG forums, and we will be able to set up very quickly with this mod because it is scripted to set up everything, so you can just start jumping in. A lot of components here that it loads. You can see the table's different. The reference cards aren't here, but you'll see where they've been condensed into a smaller form that help you in a similar way while taking up less space. Got the center here is this hex layout with the water, almost like maybe the realm is an island. It's kind of a neat theme, fun situation there. You'll see that the setup card and the treasure card, which are the chart of appearance and chart of bounty respectively with Karim's redesign, they're not populated. You can see here though, when I talked about organization in the last one here, that Karim did a lot of work here to basically show you like where everything goes really easy. You know, Woodfolk, Company, Patrol, there's 3, there's 4. I mean, if it was difficult to set up the default material, chits and markers, it's understandable here, but he's reduced a lot of that confusion just by the pictures there. There's an illustration. You have these color-coded, which we'll get into, but it's a lot easier to set this up manually even now. Even with the treasure site here, it just says, you know, 1 of which card, 1 of, you know, 2 of this, 4 of that, what goes where. It's really easier of a task to set up Magic Realm using Karim's redesign. Anyway, let's show you how this scripting works here. So it has this game set of utility down here, and it has all this charts, map tiles, you know, charts, populates the charts. These are options that you can do if you want to set them up manually. Maybe for yourself you can disable them and tell it which ones you want to use. I'm just going to leave them all on for this video, and let's just start it so we can get going here. So I'll press this begin setup button. It opens up this little components button and gets all the treasure cards, all the spell cards, all the monsters and denizens, all the equipment, and the chits, and it lays out a realm for you. And then it stops once it's laid out a realm, and it has this little extra, you know, the menu changes here, and it says accept this map layout. And it's like you can look at it, and if you like it, you can accept it, and if not, the really cool thing, because like if you're playing Realmspeak per se, when you set up one map in Realmspeak, if you don't like it, you have to just end the game and then start a new one and start that process over again. And here with this scripted mod here, we can just press retry and look at a bunch of different options. And this is really fun here. This is a really cool way of, you know, examining, you know, do you want to play this realm, you know, and yeah, maybe I do, maybe I don't. Well, let's say you do, but maybe you want to change something here. Well, these are locked. I talked about the L key for locking and unlocking. You can change it. You have to be careful with it though, because if you don't lock everything down, then when you move on, the script will break. And so I'll show you here, for example, I'll unlock this, and then I will unlock this one, and we'll swap this out here, and I'll put this one in this clearing. Let's see here, like what would be more interesting? Yeah, it's a little bit more interesting of a, or actually that caves could be on its own. Let's, where could we drop this? Yeah, that's a little bit more interesting there too. Yeah, I like that. Okay, so we swap those. I lock that down, I lock that down, and so here's a realm that we're going to possibly use. And then I go, okay, I like that, and then we hit accept. And then it deals out the red and yellow chits, the yellow warning chits, and the red sight and sound chits. And it tells us that it's paused, but you don't really have to do anything here. You just resume setup, and what it's going to do is it's going to flip the valleys for us and place the dwellings and the denizens and the ghosts for us. And the main thing we have to check is that it doesn't do, because it defaults on clearing 5. We have to make sure that if there's a valley, like if this one was not this way, you know, let's say the clearing was on one of these paths here where you couldn't get to the realm, we would switch the in from clearing 5 to 4, but clearing 5 is on the right path here. And this is interesting start, actually, because I'm going to start at the end, which we have to start over the high pass, which is a very cool, kind of a difficult beginning, but might turn into a cool obstacle. Okay, so that's our game setup. We'll close that, and let's get into the next phase here. So I'm going to leave these, there's a button over here, zoom in here, it says Unpack Components. I leave that up so that we can grab what we need from it at any time. And so the game's ready, and it's very fast setup. We'll add a player here. I'll just use the center one. And this is the point where once you have your map and the denizens and everything, dwellings all set up, that we would pick a character. So people that would then pick a character, and I'm going to use the sorcerer for this playthrough. And you grab that sorcerer there. It basically is a dispenser. You'll see these ones that have like an infinite sign. You can grab as many as you want. And we'll move this guy over here and drop it on the character card, and the scripting will take care of the rest for us. It's very convenient. So again, it's very cool. I'm going to flip this card over, and you'll see here that we say, okay, it starts starting location in the inn. I'm hitting the Alt key whenever you're over something that you highlight, like that. If you hit the Alt key, it'll zoom in for you. It gives you a better view of it. One thing I do at the beginning is, I don't know if it's because of the way this was arranged on the card, is I change my move and magic chits here. I tend to do type 6s at the very bottom right, and then I start arranging the type 4s by speed upwards this way, and then I use the move and the fight chits up here in the upper left. I tend to like this layout, easier for me to keep track of. Flip that over, I'll hit L to lock it down, and then we just have to place our character on the inn, which is right here at the bottom. These chits are probably too big at the beginning, the markers, and so I scale them down using the plus and minus like I discussed in the last one. So I go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and it'll fit on there just right. And stack them on the side here so we got a little view of everything. And let's get into one thing that I want to show you with TTS that I didn't show you last time, is setting up camera position so you don't have to do all this drag, 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 zoom. You know, there's a lot of, you'd be doing a lot of this or using the WASD keys to move around, and it's okay. But one thing I found really convenient is I can kind of center the map here so I get an overall view of the map, and then I can right click over here and then say save camera, and I'll save camera 1. And then I also need to be able to get to my player sheet, kind of this area, because I'll use the charts and die rolls, and I'll have my spells and things. So I'm going to get in here and then right click over and then save camera 2, and then we'll go into the record of fate, and because I need to fill this out every morning with Birdsong and record my activities. And so I get in here so I'm close to it decently, and maybe tilt it even a little bit more, and yeah, something like this. Right click, just not on the chart but around it, save camera 3, and then we have one more position that we need to be able to get to, which is the monster chart for the monster rolls. So I get in here, right click, save camera 4, and I suppose I could just save one for the, I usually don't, but I might as well just save one for the chart of bounty, so 5. And so now what we do is those were saved in those slots, and if I use the shift key in combination with a number, like shift 1 takes us to the first camera, shift 2 takes us to the second, shift 3 record of fate, shift 4 chart of appearances, shift 5 chart of bounty. So you can see that really gets rid of a lot of the trying to maneuver the camera around. It gets you very quickly to where you need. and that's a very convenient tool to have. We need to do 2 more things before we start. They are actually, I see something I want to change here. Actually, like this cliffs, but I want to flip it. I'm going to unlock this, pick this up, I'm going to rotate it kind of like that. Like that configuration a little better there. Alright, yeah, that's fun. Still works. We need to do 2 more things. First, we need to set our victory point requirements. I forget this sometimes. I'll start playing in TTS and I'll be like into the 3rd turn before I remember this. Realmspeak just pulls it up and says, hey, you got to set these. And when you run this manually, you just have to remind yourself. And the more often that you do it, you know, the less of a, you'll forget it less here. So I just put 1 point in each category. 1 great treasure, 1 in spells means I have to learn 2, 1 in fame needs 10 fame, 1 in notoriety, 20 notoriety, 1 in gold, and 30. It's kind of like the easiest one that I found for using a magic user. So we have victory requirements. Oh, and I have to choose spells. So I get up here, and then the sorcerer needs type 4. So we see all the spell cards here. I need type 4 and type 6. So there's a type 6 and there's type 4. Basically, when you drag 1 out, it's a whole pile. There's 7 there and 7 there. So these are just infinite, so you can grab as many as you need. And pick these up and flip it, and then I can just, if I left click drag really quick, it'll pull them apart. So there's Violent Storm, Roof Collapses, Lightning Bolt, which I do like to find, Hurricane Winds, there's Fiery Blast. That's the first one. This one's fun. Elemental Spirit has that type 4 become type 8 and type 6 become type 5, although I will say, as much as I love Karim's redesign, I really love the graphics and the design style. With the spells, with these symbols versus like Roman numeral 4 would be very helpful, you know, and Roman numeral 5 and 8 and all that. That would be helpful for that spell, but what are you going to do? So I'm choosing Fiery Blast, and then we will flip these, and I need my standard defense spells here, so I'm going to do a Transform and the Melt to Mist, and we'll get rid of these. I can just delete them because I can always grab another stack there. Move these 3 spells. Usually what you do too with this, you know, you would input them here, but I just tend to, you know, instead of write them down, because this mod has as many cards as we need, I just grab the card and I start putting them in this little area here underneath the player aid here. Fiery Blast, Melt to Mist, and Transform. Select across, hit L to lock them down. And there they are. And so now I believe we are ready. We just need a couple more items here. There's some dice here. I'm going to grab this other white dice because I like to have one for this here, which is this confrontation chart here. This is something Realmspeak runs for you, or these die rolls, and here you'll have the reposition roll, a die. So I have one for the reposition, and hit the R a couple times, get it really spinning. And then I have the change tactics, you roll 2 dice. And then, what else do we have here? I like to have another set of dice. Grab that, grab this, grab another white one here, zoom out, because I like to do the hide rolls up here on the table. So there's that. I tend to have another set of dice over here for these, for the tables. And then, you know, doing missile rolls or searches or anything like that. And I have a set of dice there for that. Finally, we need a confrontation chart for denizens, which is, I do a lot of attack from hidden, or, you know, try to do an ambush. And so you would place the monsters on this chart versus your own confrontation chart. Put one down there and lock that down with L. And I think we're ready. So I can do Shift 1 to get up here. And now we can start our game. I'm going to save it. Let's see here. Save game. I'll save over this as I was testing something here, so I'll overwrite this. Save that. It has our map layout there. And we're ready to go. Okay, I paused the video for a second. Let's let our adventure begin. So we start the first day in Birdsong. We're here at the inn. The sorcerer has wandered his way into the magic realm, and he's here at the inn. There's a stink in the awful valley. I put these chits back. The mod normally removes these. I put them back just for narrative purposes. There's a stink from the inn. There's beers and ales being served at the bar. There's characters smoking pipes. There's food from the kitchen being prepared. There's sweaty adventure denizens that are probably coming to stay for the evening. It's a stinky place. And the sorcerer is here in the magic realm, having heard about its exploits, the magical artifacts, and the ancient knowledge that may be hidden within it. And he sees the rogues at the bar, and he wants to approach them to see if they have any useful items that he may be able to purchase or use on his quest. Now, you can play Magic Realm, you can play it like, you know, do your actions, fight battles, roll dice, check the, you know, stats of the monsters versus the character. You can play it as a mechanics game, and it's a plenty fun board game, tabletop game. But I believe that Richard Hamblin, with all these, you know, the tertiary detail that he put into this, he meant for this to be a narrative game. And so as you play this game, it's almost like it could be like a game of Dungeons and Dragons, where you have a narrative. It's a game that aims to be a narrative. And so I'm going to try to implement that as we play along here. So that was the first day, the first morning, and we have to plan our day here. So we're going to trade with the rogues, because he wants to know, and we're going to move here to Awful Valley 2. I would probably try to move up into the high pass, but because we have to do a bit of a hike to get up there, that's going to be too much activity during the day. I won't be able to hide away safely, so I'll probably stop here at the end of the Awful Valley and prepare some magic at the end of the first night. So let's start the game, and I will we begin by starting basically the first day and going into Birdsong, which is the first phase of the day. There are 3-day phases. There's Birdsong, daylight, and evening, and in Birdsong we plan our actions, our activities, and roll the monster dice at the end, and then we move on to daylight. So let's do that. I'll press Shift 3 to get down to the Record of Fate here, and we'll go, okay, I'm going to do a trade, entering T. And they have the notation down here. The one that's different than the notation in Realmspeak is the spell X and the spell phase. There's this enchant here. So if you use magic users, you're used to the SPX is basically the meditate, and then the SP as the spell phase. And in this one here, you write EX and E, so that's the enchant, meditate, and the enchant phase. And so that's a little bit of a minor detail difference there between Realmspeak and TTS, and just the Karim redesign material here. So we'll keep that in mind. So I'm going to trade with the rogues, and then I'm going to move to dash, let's see here, what was it, Evil Valley? Awful Valley. So Awful Valley 2. We'll put that in notation, Awful Valley 2. And then I'll hide. I don't really need to hide, but I'll just keep it. And then I put this little dash here, and I do the monster roll. So there's my Birdsong, planning the day activities. And because I don't want to use my last two to get into the high pass, which would be all four without hiding. I definitely want to hide properly. So we filled that out. Now we go Shift 4 up here to the chart of appearances. Oh, I forgot to grab it from the table here. So I go 1, got the monster die here, I forgot to move over. And I will roll this for the monster roll for the day. And we have 2 serpents, which would not bring any denizens, but I have to be at the inn. So we'll see. It's not going to happen for today, but I'll show you how I wrote this down here. And then I basically say it's a roll of 2 for serpents. Okay, that's the end of Birdsong with the monster roll. Now we move into daylight and execute that. So let's go up here. We have the trade with the rogues, and I'm going to have to move to the chart of bounty to see what they have. So Shift 5, and here's their items. Pull this over here, and usually what I have to do is I'll have to Control Select so I can deselect the cards. I put the horses back in this, And then I will take this, flip it, and pull it apart real quick. And what do we have here? Oh, well, Dragon Essence. And this is interesting because you can use this as a source of purple magic. As the sorcerer, it's actually probably good that I found this initially, because if I cast Melt to Mist, this is one of the negative things of Melt to Mist. If you pick up this Dragon Essence after casting Melt to Mist to yourself, you're basically going to be missed for the rest of the game. So this is a tragic item to discover and take into your possession if you have Melt to Mist, because once you're missed, you can't cast any spells on yourself to break it. You'd have to have another character, maybe another player, basically remedy or dissolve spell for you. But this is interesting if you're not a magic character and you need a source of purple magic, or let's say if you are the magician and you have that single type 4 chit, you could pair it with this to cast type 4 spells. So that's useful there. And then the Power Gauntlets is great, especially for my sorcerer who only has an L3 fight chit. So here I'd have a heavy, at a speed of 4, a little slower, but at least an ability to carry medium and heavy weapons, which would extend me here. And that's 7 gold. So I know that. Dragon Essence and Power Gauntlets, I'll record that for day 1. Day 1 notes. And this is how I'd notate this. Day 1, trade with rogues. Dragon Essence and Power Gauntlets. And so I know those are there. In order for us to do this trade now properly manually, we need to roll on this table here, and that's what this player aid is for here. So we'll roll on the, they are, if I look at my card here, it says they're not on my list from allied enemy, which means they're neutral. So the rogues are neutral, so I'll roll on the meet with neutral table here. Oops, press the middle mouse button. So we're rolling on this meet with neutral table here, and this is all those tables that were on the previous mod arranged in the little cards next to each other, so you could refer to any of the tables you need to roll on. They're all right here in this one player aid, which was set up really nicely. It takes up a lot of less space, and you can split through them here. Here's locate, missile, peer, power of the pit, transform, and we're doing meet with neutral. And basically all we want to do is, let's see, alt, opportunity, price times 3 times 4, which we wouldn't be able to afford either of those. There's no deal, 4 or 5, and then 6 is trouble, which we'd have to roll on the unfriendly table, which would be all kinds of other things that could happen here. Alright, so meet with neutral, we basically just don't want a 6, so let's, oops, grab these guys here. Roll, and we have a 5, so no deal. And no deal is struck. It says no result, no deal is made, and the natives do not block our battle. They're just not, I don't have enough money, they don't like me right now, so it's fine. But I just wanted to check on the, I gotta get this down a little bit better here. Check on the items which we have here. Put a question mark there instead of that. Yeah, trade with rogues on first day, Dragon Essence, Power Gun. Okay, so trade for activity happened. Now we're moving to Awful Valley 2 and then hiding, even though we don't have to hide. So that's our first day. I'm going to move out, zoom in down here. Sorcerer started his morning talking with the rogues. He travels through the valley under the bridge into Awful Valley 2, and then he'll try to hide for the evening so he can do some magic here. Successfully hidden, as long as you don't roll a 6. And then that finishes our daylight phase once we, roll through the activities that we planned in Birdsong. That's our daylight phase, and once we're finished going through the activities we planned during Birdsong. And now we would enter evening, which would either be combat, if combat had to happen, and if not, you can still do certain activities, like a magician or a sorcerer or wizard could cast spells during the evening phase, which I'm going to do. So I'll switch over here to my character here, and we're going to cast Melt into Mist so I can prepare it. And that's wouldn't have been good with taking the Dragon Essence into possession, but I know that I can activate it now. But if I go back to the inn, if I'm in the same clearing as the Dragon Essence, I will become mist. So in a way, I need to break this spell before I go back to the inn if I want to trade there or show up at the inn again. So I'm going to, and I forgot to enchant, sorry. So this is something, again, you'll see here, this is probably good that I made a mistake, because again, this is what happens in the first couple of turns. Because I run this manually, I didn't say, hey, do I want to enchant Chits? And I usually enchant the slower of the first 3 of the type 4s so that I have enchanted magic at the beginning, just like you saw in Realm Speak, which it gives you this UI so you're reminded. But usually I go to cast the spells like, wait, I don't have purple magic because I didn't enchant at the beginning. So set that right. Okay, so we would have to cast Melt in the Mist here. You can see that it's a type 6, even though you have to tell from that symbol there's no Roman numeral, and it has that purple, so it needs purple magic. And so we're going to provide purple magic. We'll fatigue purple magic, and we're going to lock, because it's a permanent spell. You can see here it says permanent. Target is transformed in mist and all belongings. With all belongings and all other spells and curses have no effect. May move, follow, hide. May use undiscovered hidden paths and secret passages. Take no part in combat. So this locks up this speed 6, which is why I use the slowest one. So this stays stuck on this melt to mist until I dissolve the spell at some point in the future. And so I melt into mist for the evening. And I'll put that melt to mist as a prep, and then we can move on to day 2. And so what are we going to do? So let's plan day 2 here. We're going to go into the high pass, and it would be waking up here in the morning, being unhidden, and then that would take 2 move cycles to get into this. It's a mountain clearing, so it would be 1, 2, 3, 4, which would be all of my cycles there, except unless I use my extra enchant phase. But I'm going to basically have to do this very slowly over the high pass here. So I'm going to move to high pass 5 and then hide twice. So let's go down here, move for the 2 high pass. Yikes, what was it? High pass 5, yeah. High pass 5. So that's 2 actions, and then I'm just going to hide twice to ensure I can hide. And now we make a monster roll. So shift 4, and we will see what trouble lies ahead here. Oh, dragons, and dragons can show up in caves, clearings here. So type 1, dragons roll. That's Birdsong. Now we move into daylight to execute it. So the sorcerer wakes up and leaves the valley and starts his long hike up to the high pass. And he gets up into the high pass a little ways, and he wants to get hidden away for the evening. Nope, first one is not successful. Second one is not successful. Okay. So during the evening, I guess we'd have to use Melt to Mist if we get into trouble, which is why I prepared it. During the evening, now that we're done with our daylight phase, it goes to evening, and we flip Chits at the end. If you enter evening in a hex where the Chits weren't flipped, you flip them. And so here's the warning Chit. Is bones. There's bones in the high pass, so something's been killing things around here in the high pass because there's bones laying about, maybe eating them even. And what do we have here? We have an altar at clearing 1, which is our sight and sound Chit. So we have a treasure site, and this is interesting because as a magic user I might be able to learn a spell from the altar, but I'm not sure because I don't have the luxury of using a lot of activities the way I have to move about the high pass here. But there are 3 treasure sites. I think there are 3 or 4 treasures at the altar. Or it should be. I might be able to loot 1. I don't know. So that I have to plan that out. So no monsters showed up because if we go look at our chart here, it was a dragon roll, which is this. And I'll explain this now. Here is that we have the symbols here, right? So this is something Karim helped streamline. In the old one, you'd have the Chits that just have the description and the clearing type. And here we've added, Karim has added this, which I think was somebody else's suggestion. I don't know if it was his original idea, but somebody suggested in his thread and he implemented it a long time ago, over 10 years ago. But here's this red diamond for the first row, which is dragon. There's the green triangle for the second row, which is like serpents and demons. There's the blue square, which is, you know, wolves, ogres, and goblins. I tend to think of it as the goblin row. There's the hexagon, the gray hexagon, which is giants and trolls, so I call that the troll row. It's a purple plus, which is the spiders roll, is what I call that, and then the bats roll, which is 6. And right now we have a dragon roll. I tend to put the dice there. There's this here for prowling, which you would put for what's prowling, but I just land the dice on it for whatever reason. So we have dragons. Let's go back to our clearing here. And what do we have here on these symbols? This are the visual keys here. For bones, it would be a roll of 4 because it's that gray hex, and for the altar it'd be a roll of 2 if something showed up at the altar. So we know the roll of 1, no monsters are showing up for the evening. And so that's our evening phase. I didn't have to any monsters, so I didn't have to invoke any melt to miss, so I lucked out even by failing my 2 hide rolls here. Okay, so let's go on to day 3, and we will plan the next day here. So we're gonna move, I guess we'll go check out the Borderlands, and I'm gonna use a couple of hides here, 3 hides, because I just want to see what happens here, see what's going on in this tile. So Borderlands 1 and 3 hides. So Sorcerer's finally finished with the trek over the high pass, and he really enters into the magic realm, and he's going to take it easy. He's hiding, he's just hiding in the Borderlands amongst the trees, probably resting up after that long trek over the mountain, the high pass, for a few days. Took him 1, 2, 3 days to get over that high pass. It's a very big mountainous area there, and into the 5th day he's coming down into the Borderlands to really start journeying in the magic realm. Let's see what happens here. Do a monster prowl roll for the finished Birdsong. Ooh, dragons. Oy. And record that to dragons. And let's go do daylight. So we're finished with Birdsong, switch over to daylight. Sorcerer travels down off the high pass into the Borderlands, and he's gonna try to hide away. Nope, first hide not working. Boy, I'm just not doing well with hides today. Second hide successful, so the third one doesn't have to be rolled. So those 3 activities for hide are passed, and now we would enter into the evening phase, and we'll flip the chits here. So we have a stink. There's a stinky smell in the Borderlands, and a vault. I'm clearing 3. The vault requires tremendous capability or a key to get into here, and we have 2 gray hexes here, so the only thing that can be summoned here would be giants or trolls. I think there's a tremendous troll that comes to protect the vault. Yeah, and so this is good to note, because there's only gray hexes. You can get through here probably with not a lot of monsters showing up this time. Usually the Borderlands is a really busy tile for me. I usually get just chits that bring all kinds of things. We run into a certain location that you get with a site chit, and it brings more chits. That's usually what I find in the Borderlands. So this is a tame Borderlands for this game. And that's it for now, and we can decide on our next day activity. Do we want to go through the caves and go over to the deep woods? Do we want to head into the ledges? There's this cursed valley here. There is the guardhouse, which would be, I'd have to go through the cave and find this secret passage. I'd have to do some searching, and then so I could get through there and even find. So the guardhouse is kind of tucked away. I wonder if the guards basically stuck rocks here and tried to hide this up so that they wouldn't get bothered by the creatures from the magic realm. So it's a very interesting scenario set up here. Do we want to go to the ledges? This is slower, but the caves only give us 2 activities here. So the mountain there's a big mountain that you can see from probably from the Borderlands. Over the trees is this big mountain. Maybe he wants to head that way. Where shall we go to find adventure? There's this crag, probably visible from here too, but I'd have to get, let's see, it's quite a windy road to get to there. See, here to here. Yeah, it's quite an adventure to get to the crag. It seems near, but it's actually, the path to it is very complex. So I say maybe we'll head to the ruins in the mountain. So I guess we're going to try to enter. We'll go into... I can only use 2 basic activities with the caves, but I'm betting that I hopefully won't roll a 4. So I'll go Borderlands 6, Borderlands 4, and maybe we'll get to the deep woods on the next turn, and I won't worry about hiding here because I have the Melt to Mist backup. So I'll go Borderlands 6, Borderlands 4. Move Borderlands 6, comma, move Borderlands 4. I only get 2 activities because I'm entering a cave. Let's do our monster roll and hopefully not get trolls. But even if we do, I actually can take it on even with 2 magics because I could transform it. Maybe I'll take on a troll if it tries to find me here. So nope, bats, which is not going to bring anything. So we record bats, 6 bats. And we go into our 6th day here. So that's Birdsong for the 6th day. And we're just being unhidden. He goes into the cave, into the dark, travels through here into the 4th cave, and in the evening decides to rest in the cave, hoping no monsters will come along. I'm not doing any spells during the evening phase, and so that finishes our day 6, so we can plan our day 7 going into the deep woods. I'd say we're coming out of the cave, so I only get 2 activities. I do want to hide. This is a hex that has a warning and a sight and sound chit, so I'm going to come out deep woods 5 and hide. So move deep woods 5, whoop, deep woods 5, and then do a hide. Since I'm coming out of the cave, I only get 2 activities. And hopefully that hide's good. I still have 2 purple magics in case I need to escape with mist. And let's find out what our monster roll is. We don't know what chits are there, so monster roll could mean anything. Serpents. So 2 serpents. That's our bird phase, our bird song. And let's go into daylight now that we have our activities. So I'm going to move. He comes out of the cave, ventures out of the cave into the deep woods. A very thick, dense tree canopy, surrounded by trees and a rustling of leaves. And I need to hide. He wants to hide because this is a thick forest, so he's going to try to hide in it. And we lucked out there. Successful hide roll, so I've been hidden. And we go into the evening phase after coming out of the caves and hiding. We flip our chits here. We have ruins, and we have the Hoard. Oh, the Hoard has a lot of treasure here. This is very tempting to try to go find some treasure here. And we had serpents for the monster roll, right? So there's no monsters tonight because there's no green triangle. I've got the red diamond and the orange circle, which is bats. So bats are dragons, and I think I am going to try to go find the Hoard and exploit it before the dragon figures out I'm there and shows up to defend it. So that's what we're going to do. I'm going to move Deep Woods 4 and 6 and do a search and a hide for day 7. Or that was day 7. Okay, so on day 7, this is something that you have to run manually because, again, Realmspeak won't run it for you. On day 7, it says variable. This means black and white magic are everywhere. So if you were the White Knight, there was white magic and you had your type 1 shit, you could cast Make Whole on yourself right now. Like if you picked one of the white magic spells, because there's white magic in the air, like would be, or I mean in the realm everywhere, like would be at the chapel. You have your type 1 shit not enchanted and you combine it with the color magic that's everywhere, you can cast that spell as the White Knight. And so, or if you're a black magic user or white magic user in general, you can just pull from the realm. You don't have to have a enchanted color already set up. You can just pull the magic from the realm and just combine it with your type magic to cast those spells if this spell has that requirement. And so that was that, and we're going into the evening of that. We didn't utilize the magic that way. Let's go into day 8. Like I said, I'm going to move. Forgot what the clearings were. 4 and 6. Yeah, 4 and 6. Yeah. So move Deep Woods 4. Move Deep Woods 6. I'm going to do a search and a hide, just in case a bat or a dragon tries to show up, because I am going to end up on the Hoard, and boy does that dragon like to protect it. If a single dragon shows up, I might be able to take it. I might be able to pull this off here, so maybe we'll have some adventure with a combat. Some comical or deadly adventure. So that's my Birdsong plan. Let's see if we roll dragons or bats. Nope, we get the Goblins, which thankfully isn't going to bring anything today. So lucked out again. Note that day was Goblins. Day 8 was a Goblins roaming, and that's the Birdsong record. Let's go up there and execute this in the daylight. So I become unhidden, leaving my position in the deep woods that I slept at night, camped over, moved to deep woods 4, moved to deep woods 6. I'm going to do a search, and so we have to go down to the tables here, and let's see here. Am I still going here? Okay. So we switch over to the locate. You can do a peer or a locate. There's peer for finding or locate. I'm going to do it with my search phase here. I'm definitely going to do a locate, and in order to discover we need a 4 or a 1. If you're looking for passages, it's 3 or 2, but we need a 4 or a 1. So let's see if we can find, it's a 1 off. I probably won't get it, but see if I can get a 4 or a 1. We need double 1s for the 1, and 4 just has to be the highest dice. Nope, found nothing. So I didn't find anything on my first day, but that's what I expected. You have to try anyway. Usually I have to do a couple, you know, successive searches in order to pull that off, and then we just need to hide for the evening, even though we know there's no, whoops, I pushed the wrong button there. Press the E. There we go. Alright. No, didn't hide. Should have taken that first mistake roll. Didn't hide, but lucked out because we are on Goblin roll here, so we're okay for the evening at the Hoard. The dragon did not return to the Hoard. We showed up while it was gone, evidently. Okay, let's do search, search, search on day 9. We're going to plan a Birdsong here. I'm going to do 3 searches, consecutive searches, and a hide. Another day 10. Search, 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 and hide. And let's see if we can do our monster roll. Ooh, bats. Okay, we might end up with some trouble here because this is a mountain hex and it is bones, so I think we're gonna run into a bat in the evening. So hopefully my hide roll works so that I can transform it maybe, because otherwise I have to melt to mist and get out of there, and I only have 2 purple magics charged right now. So we are gonna encounter some enemies. Our first enemy of the game here will be a heavy bat. It's gonna show up in the clearing, I think, right? It's not clearing. Yeah, the ruins with that. Ruins orange is, yeah, it's gonna bring a bat to us. So monsters finally found us. Let's do our searches. So we have 3 searches left. See if I can still discover this Hoard. I want to find the treasure. Nothing. First one, second one. Oh, there's the 4, but that was a 5, so nothing. Third one, nothing. Oh, I'm just not having luck. Not having luck on finding this site here. So 2 days of no finding it, and actually I tried 1 there. But here we go. Let's see if we can get into this. Let's see if I hide or if I have to melt to mist. So there's my hide dice here get hidden before the bats show up. Ooh, close. Okay, yeah, I did hide. So now we're in a good position here. So let's go to the monster chart. It says bats. We're in mountain ruins. So we grab this one here. It gets summoned because it's, you know, the numbered chits. If it's a numbered chit, it pulls it to the clearing, which coincidentally I'm in that clearing, but like if the Hoard was in clearing 2, which it never is because it's always 6, but if the dragon came, it would always go to where the sight sound chits, the red ones, always bring it to that clearing, and the warning chits, which are the yellow ones, they bring the monsters come to you, they find you, and it was like there was ruins in the deep woods, and in those ruins here, there's a dragon horde hidden in those ruins, so the dragon likes nesting out in the ruins and taking his gold there, but there's also heavy bats nearby, and one found me, so he comes to my clearing. The sorcerer sees him, but the bat probably smells the sorcerer, but he can't find the sorcerer, and battle commences in the evening. And so we come here. Now because I'm hidden, I bring him to this chart, this confrontation chart for denizens, because he can't take a shot at me. If I become unhidden, we move over here, and then I have to place a maneuver so I can try to dodge him. But at the moment here, he's going on this chart. And what I'm going to do, because I'm hidden, I don't have to worry about speed. I don't have to worry about casting this on speed because I can cast it from hiding. Although we'll have to roll an ambush to see if I become unhidden. Because let's look at this. If you studied if you know something about Magic Realm from looking at watching my other videos, you'll know about these stats here, which is the M2, which is fight, his medium hit with a 2 speed, which is very fast. The 1 through 6 is the speed, the lower numbers are faster. And he has a dodge speed, his movement speed is 3, and I don't, even if I tried to attack him with my light, which wouldn't hurt him because he's a heavy bat, I can't hurt him with his heavy vulnerability with a light fight chit, so I would have to use the fiery blast, which is tremendous, but then get a good missile roll. But I'm also not fast enough. Unless I had alerted my magic, I could undercut him, but my fastest magic is a 3, and he's a 3, and when you match, you still can't undercut, it's still intercept, which means that whatever shot I take, it would have to line up with the bat. I'd have to do this reposition roll here, which we will see shortly, because I'm going to change him into something here. So I'm doing, while I'm hidden here, basically I'm going to do a transform. I have to power it, so I'm going to fatigue the purple, and it is a type 6, not a type 4, so I will use the slower type 5 chit to power it. And because I'm casting it from hidden, it doesn't matter, he can't dodge me. We will see if I roll the ambush roll to see if I become unhidden, which is the same as a hide roll, so as long as I don't get a 6. Okay, I stay hidden, and we hit him. He gets hit with, we don't have to reposition for the transform spell, it's not going to matter where he is, I cast it on him. And we have to go to the transform chart, and we find out what he becomes, and hopefully we get a 4, 5, or 6 high roll, because we don't want eagle, lions, or flying dragons. We particularly don't want a bat to get into a worse thing here, so hopefully we get something higher here. Alright, 6, so he becomes a frog. So we've changed our flying bat here, which I'll move this transform spell up here. So our flying bat, for now, is transformed into a frog, and we can find that over here in this pile. So I bring this, and this is where it becomes a little bit comical here, because I do get to take a swing at him. Because the frog is a speed of 3 and I have a fight chit that's an L3, I'm basically pulling out a dagger here. I'm going to be able to take one swing at him, and since I fatigued Chits to pull off the transform spell, I have 2 chances to swing at him before combat would end, unless I spend 2 effort asterisks in order to try to hit him, which would extend me another 2 rounds. This is stuff that's just automatically handled in Realm Speak, but we'll see how this goes. So the frog doesn't really flip, he doesn't have a second side that makes any difference, but I'll just run this like you're supposed to here. So on the first fight, because I'm taking a shot from, I'm trying to stab him from hidden, I get that first shot here without him being on my chart. So I'm slicing for, I'm doing the swing to the side with the knife, and I'm placing him here, and I'm hoping the reposition roll will correct him into that position. So let's roll. It's terrible roll. 1. Okay, it worked. Okay, got lucky. Usually I don't get lucky on the first one, but you can see here, this is what the reposition roll represents here. This is really cool with Karim's redesign. You can see here, 1 tells you to swap these 2, and that went here, and so that worked out. Usually with this one you go 1 or 6 would move that position to there, and then 5 moves things a certain way, 4 or 2 moves, like swaps these two, 3 swaps these two, and then 4 leaves them in their position. So I successfully hit the frog on the first attack here. That's pretty cool. And then you would roll, if you were doing this with a monster, you would roll to see if they change tactics, which is just a 6 would do it. So change tactics, monsters turn over if there's just a 6, but there's no difference on the frog. But yeah, that would show you that's a change tactics, which is basically those monsters or denizens, when they flip, it's like they're using different chits, you know, like they're changing their chit choices, kind of what that represents. So I kill the frog, which is killing the bat, and that is 3 notoriety and 3 fame. So let's record that. So I did run into a bat. It's on day 10, and I didn't put that I discovered. Let's see, it was like day 9. I think I discovered Hidden Path, Deep Woods, 3, 6, right? I think it was day 9 or day 10. Day 8 or day 9. And day 10, we have Heavy Bat at Deep Woods. Oops. Deep Woods 6. And transform to frog, killed. And so we have that, and so because I have the 3 here, I go 3 fame, 3 notoriety, and it does this neat auto calculation here. And I also have 10 gold, so I should have put that up there, which I can also put 0 here, so it brings it down. So not bad for a first little battle. And because I killed it, this no longer stays trapped. If you don't kill it and you get out of combat, that chit becomes locked up. And so because I've killed the bat, that broke the transform spell, and I get to have my chit back, although I'll have to unfatigue it here. And this also reminds me, I'm running out of magic here. I've got 1 chance to cast Melt to Mist, so I'm going to need to spend some time. I probably need to get out of here and charge my magic back up before I try to exploit the Hoard again. So let's plan this out here. For day 11, where can I go to safety here? Okay, it's not very far. Okay, this is actually kind of a nice situation for exploiting the Hoard, because I can get over here, charge up, and come back and maybe find this thing. This thing's really tucked away in the deep woods. It's deep in the deep woods. So we're going to go Deep Woods 1, Dark Valley 4. So move Deep Woods 1, move Dark Valley 4, and then we're going to rest up. We're going to try to... We will enchant that, because he powered one of his spells. He had Melt to Mist on one and then powered the other spell, the transform spell, with that purple magic. So we are ready to go now and go into the next day. So let's see, do we want to go back? I think we want to go back and just see if I can get something out of this Hoard before I venture on to other places. I really want to get some treasures out of there, because it's a good site. So 1 and 6 for Deep Woods. Let's see here. Move Deep Woods 1, move Deep Woods 6, and then we have search and search. I'm not going to hide. I'd have to Melt to Mist, but I just think I'm going to try to chance that it's not going to be a dragon or a bat. If it's bats, I'm going to have to Melt to Mist, and dragon I'd have to melt. So if it's a dragon, it may not be fast. I may be able to run away, but we will see here. Okay, so let's see if I made a bad decision. Dragons or bats? Dragons or bats? Oh, dragons! Oh, here it comes. Well, maybe I can transform it. I'm not hiding either. The Hoard is the tremendous flying dragon, and I can... It has a type 4, but I think its attack speed's too fast. So I'll have to Melt to Mist and come back and try to... Yeah, flying dragon's coming back to protect the Hoard. So the realm had finally done what it normally does. He's woken up to my presence and is gonna start punishing me properly here. So let's get down there, and maybe we'll find the Hoard, at least for the fact that we're gonna have to probably get out of trouble here. So that's Birdsong, and let's go into daylight. So going back into the deep woods and returning to the clearing and trying to find the Hoard. Let's see if we can. 2 searches here. Locate, back to locate from the transform. Oh yeah, you gotta put this back here. Okay, I don't need the frog anymore. And I will take the bat, actually, and move it up here, and we will see if it respawns. They respawn at the end of the week, depending on the roll. Like Serpents would have respawned, and tomorrow's roll will determine if there's anything respawned. But there's just not a lot of stuff on there's nothing on the map yet. We've had a fairly empty game so far. Okay, so yeah, we're gonna try to locate here. We need to roll a 4 or 1. Nope, nothing. Nothing. Just cannot find that Hoard. And now we deal with the dragon. So let's go get it. So it's the Hoard. We'll bring this tremendous flying dragon. He shows up here. He's like, "What are you doing here? Trying to take my gold." Pretty upset about the whole ordeal. And let's see, its head's got, oh, tremendous 3. And yeah, reach a 13 with a fiery blast, a 7 just to bite, and tremendous 3 just to kill you, just grab you and eat you, basically. It's a tremendous dragon. It would cause a lot of trouble here. Okay, so he shows up, this dragon shows up, maybe it's a she, and it's pretty miffed that I'm trying to find its Hoard in the ruins there. So we need to melt to mist. I'm not even going to bring that down to my combat chart here. I'm going to go use the common escape route. So we did encounter dragon on day 13. I'll record that. Day 13. Tremendous flying dragon. Tremendous flying dragon has a melt to mist to escape. So in order to do that, we already have the type 6 inert here, and I would fatigue this, basically charging it out. And then I become mist for the evening so that I don't have to be eaten, burned, or killed by this dragon. I would have done transform, but I believe the way the rule is that this M3 is too fast for that. I think I at least have to have matching. Have to be, it might be one thing to cast it on him beating its move speed, which is 4. They match, so I could hit it, I believe, with the transform. But because its fight is faster, it's 3 instead of 4, it would hit me first. It has a chance to hit me first. I don't have a way of dodging that. So I'm not going to chance it. I might be wrong about that, but I don't think I am. I think that speed beating my magic would make Realm Speak say you do not have a chit fast enough to cast a spell. It would be what it would be saying here, because that 4 is not as fast as its M3 attack. And so that's that. And I'm not going to chance it. I'm going to come back hidden and try to transform it, because that's the only way I can take on a tremendous armored thing. Even with fiery blast, I'd have to have a really good missile roll that went up from tremendous, at least 1. So a roll or a 2 or a 1. So I'm not going to deal with that. So we're going to get out and go to safety here. I'm going to move to Deep Woods 6. Or no, I'm sorry, move to Deep Woods 1 from Deep Woods 6. And we are going to basically see if I can get out of this here without having to go all the way back to the valley. Just get away from the dragon enough, and we're going to rest the type 4 speed 5, and we're going to enchant it back to purple. and then we're gonna hide. Though, and I can get that 5th hide because this is an extra activity. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 using an enchant doesn't count. So there are 4 activities there, and so our sorcerer is content to be in the forest in the evening, in the deep woods, and he's planning his attack on the flying dragon. Here, let's go. So what I want to do is I want to hide twice, and then I'm going to alert a type 4 speed of 4, just in case I have to deal with some bats that show up. Otherwise I wouldn't use Fiery Blast, but if I get a roll of 6 and some bats show up, at least having a 0 speed Fiery Blast will allow me to hit the bats without them being able to get out of the way. I can undercut them with my 0 speed Fiery Blast versus the 4 speed. So this alerts from speed of 4 to 0 when you alert your magic chit. And we are moving back to Deepwood 6. And so maybe if bats show up, I'll hit them, but I also have this alerted magic in case perhaps whatever I change it into, I can undercut that as well. So this will ensure me a hit on a monster, and hopefully the dragon doesn't just turn into another flying dragon, because that would be a bummer. So there's my plan. There's my Birdsong plan. Let's see if I do summon other monsters, which at this point is only going to be the one dragon that it can come is at the Hoard. So okay, thought I was about to hit bats there, but Goblins roll, which isn't going to bring anything in the deep woods. There's woods and caves, but no mountain, which is what it is. It's a mountain hex. So let's see, 3 goblins. Okay, let's execute our turn. We have 2 hides. Okay, let's see, hide 1. Okay, first one works fine. Let's flip our sorcerer. Okay, so we don't need the second one. And then we have the alert, which I did. I alerted magic 4, then we moved to Deepwood 6. So we get in here, move into sneaking in. He got hidden, prepared his magic, got his magic prepared. He's alerting his magic, so he's, basically enchanting that purple magic that flows, and then he sneaks in from 1 into 6 because he wants to take on this dragon. So flying dragon is there on top of the Hoard, although some are nearby because I haven't found it yet, but is there to protect it. And we've done our hide alert, which I alerted and moved, so that's our daylight phase. We go into the evening and we're going to go into combat. So the sun starts to set and we are going to try to transform this dragon. We didn't have any extra bats show up. That would have been interesting. Move over here since he is entering. I'm battling from hidden. So yeah, we're going to transform it. We don't care about the speed because we're hidden. We have to fatigue a purple magic to meet that requirement. And let's check out our transform. So let's see, the transform is, we basically just don't want a flying dragon. We can handle a lion or an eagle, possibly. I mean, I might not get a good enough fiery blast roll, but we'll see what happens here and deal with it as it happens. So let's see, I'll move these dice here and let's see what this guy becomes. 4. So it becomes a sparrow with the high roll of 4 there. So let's go get that. And over here in these area here we have the choices for transform, and we got the sparrow, so bring the sparrow down here. So we lock our transform spell up right now with the dragon is transformed, and we have the sparrow. We shot at it from hiding, so we have to do an ambush roll here. See if I get unhidden. Nope, I remain hidden. And so it's turned into a sparrow, and I can keep it on this denizen chart. Otherwise I'd have to move it up here, but it's a sparrow, so it's not much it's going to be able to do. Basically this is an automatic, but I'll just run the operation anyway. I'd run a fiery blast. Put this guy up here real quick, and we'll just run the combat like we did with the bat here. We have a fiery blast. I'm spending a purple to pay for it, and I already alerted this one. So, yeah, we spent that type 6/5 with the purple, which is one of them, to transform, and now we're doing this. You know, I tilted this, so instead of a speed of 4, it's alerted to 0. So it wouldn't matter where he ended up. I'm going to undercut it, but I'll just run the operation too, so we'll see where did it end up. 1 flips from here to here. That's what this one is here. So it's showing us the 1 flips those 2 squares, it goes here. So it would try to dodge out of the way, but it's 0 speed, so I undercut it. Sparrow doesn't have things, but let's just see if it would have changed tactics. No, it didn't change tactics. And I do a missile roll now, so we would say, okay, this is the levels it comes. So it starts out at you know, L plus 3, so that's medium, heavy, tremendous with the 3 sharpness stars. So starting from tremendous, it goes from what to what? 5, so it would -2 levels, so it stays medium, which would kill the sparrow. And so effectively I kill the flying dragon for 12 and 12. And so that's pretty cool. So we have this here, 12 and 12. Closing in on our objective here. Let's see, that was day 15. Day 15. T flying dragon. Transform to sparrow. Fiery blasted. Killed. And that's it. Just blasted a sparrow with fire after it was a dragon to deal with the dragon. And now that I have... what happened there? Okay. Sometimes I just I use the middle mouse button and it just blasts the camera around. I've removed the dragon from the site, and that there's no chance of respawning him until the end of the week. We still might run into bats, which means I should probably get... I could melt to mist one time and get out of there, so I guess I'll push my luck with the searches again. But we broke the spell by killing the sparrow, so that's out. We use this up in the fiery blast. Put this back up here. I don't need the sparrow anymore. We can grab another one anytime, and we'll take our dragon and put it back up on the vanquished area that I use up here. Vanquished foes go above the chart, so if they end up getting respawned, I can pull them up here and put them back on the chart. That's good. That was a decent combat, favoring the sorcerer over the dragon. And we need to plan. That was the evening combat. Now we'll plan again here. I'm going to just do what I did up here. I'll search 3 times and hide just in case the bats show up. And let's see if the bats show up. So this is my Birdsong plan. And hopefully bats don't show up. Ooh, close. Saw it trying to show up as bats. Okay, troll. 4 trolls. And let's see if my search luck is any better. So over here, locate table. Do we find the Hoard finally? Nope, that was the 4, but it came with a 6. First search, second search. Wow, what is that? Now it's saying it's a 6, even though it looks like it's about to fall on a 4. That's a weird one. Yeah, it's a 6. It knew it was a 6. Okay, so second roll, no good. Third roll. Another 6. Jeez. Now the realm is not letting me find anything today. No trolls, so that. I can see if I stay hidden, if I would have stayed hidden from bats. Yeah, I would have stayed hidden. But that's evening. Try to search again. You can see the pane, one of the pane of magic. See here. Nothing. There we go. There's those missing 4s. Okay, so the second search is a discovered chit. So I finally discover it. So it's our second search, so I'll be able to loot something at least. Second search on day 18. Day 18. I'll try to edit that forward for you. Day 18. Discovered Hoard. And we have one more search here, so I can finally loot. So now that I've discovered that, which I need to mark off here, so I found the Hoard. And let's see here, so we'll switch over to the loot chart here, and it gives us very specific instructions to take from the top of the pile, because the top of the pile would be maybe the heavier, the nicer treasures, and the further down they get is the lighter treasures. And so our first successful loot, which is the third search of the day, it's the last search of the day. Let's see what the Hoard gives me. 4. Well, would have discovered something again. There's all my discovery rolls. So 4th from the top. Let's go up here, and we have the Hoard pile, and there it says 9, and so we're gonna go. That's 1, 2, 3, 4. There's my loot. And it is a glimmering ring, 1 spell. There's a spell in there, which I don't know if I have that type of spell here. So I've got this glimmering. I'm going to keep it down here though. And what is that type? That is that type 7. Let's see here. Oh no, it's Elven magic. I don't have but the capability to do that, but that glimmering ring might act like a type chit. It might be a type 3 chit, even though it doesn't emit gold magic. I could put gold magic with that. If I was in the forest, combining it with that, I could probably cast a spell, but I can sell it for 15 gold too. So, well, there we go. Discovered Hoard and loot. Glimmering ring. Okay, let's keep going since there's not a lot of monster action here. Day 19, I should probably save up because now I can just loot. Maybe I can do a rest and an enchant here, and then a couple of. Yeah, let's try to save up a little bit here. So I'll do two. I'll do a rest of the type 4/5, and I'll enchant it to purple, so I give myself an extra little layer there, and then I'll do 2 searches because I'm using that extra phase as my extra here. So won't hide, just hoping I don't get bats. If I get bats, at least I'll have 2 purple and I can use 1 to escape here. So oops, that's the wrong spot there. Did those in the wrong place. This is day 19. I don't need to put that there. Rest 5. Enchant 5 to purple, and search. So I'm not trying to do a hide here. Let's go see if I make myself miserable, because I'll have to use up my newly hard thing. Oh yeah, we gotta put this back here, so then we put them back in the order I pulled them off. And we'll see. Come on, no bats. Okay, dragons, but there is no dragons. We've already killed the dragon at the Hoard, and there's no other chit that pulls it, right? Yeah, ruins or Hoard. We've already killed the Hoard protector, so there's nobody's going to be drawn in here. And so let's start by rest type 4 speed 5, which would go here, and then we'll enchant to flip that to purple. And then we have 2 loot phases here. So back to loot, we have 5th one. Take the 5th treasure, so that's the first search. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Sacred statue. Ooh, this is white magic here. Alright, yeah, it's white magic, and it's a great treasure. This is good because this will make this red line indicates that it's a greater treasure. So I will, even though I may not have the ability to cast white magic, unless I combine it with a white magic item, I could then manage to pull it off. There's a thing called the Sacred Grail which emits white magic, or I could go to the church, the chapel, and combine the white magic of the chapel with this and maybe pull off a spell. So there's something here, but for the sake of having a great treasure there, I will have met that victory point need, which is really cool. And let's see, I still had the other search here, so let's see what we get. Low numbers, come on, come on, come on, come on. Oh, 6. There's still enough for 6 in there, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and I get a poultice health. Yeah, the further down you get, the higher numbers, the treasures are not so fancy. But I guess if I wanted to use that at the combat phase, rest counts double, so I'd be able to, for every rest, I'd be able to get 2 asterisks instead of just 1. So that's pretty neat. I could use that maybe if I get damaged. And that's today. And let's do this again here. So there's no dragons are going to show up. I basically can exploit this because there's not a big opportunity for monsters to show up, and I'm going to take it because usually the realm is very unforgiving in these manners, and so because it's provided me with one decent chance here, I am going to take it. And I guess I will search, and then I'll try to rest my type 4/4. Alright, let's not get any bats here. Let's see. Oh, pull that over here, and then we'll roll it. Oh, bats are coming. Oy. Gonna have to melt to mist here. That's why I did that other save here. So, but let's see what I get. Maybe I melt to mist. I can get enough treasure to get out of here with and move on. Probably good. Oh, and I gotta remember tomorrow's purple. This is something I forget. That on Purple Day, I become melt to mist on Purple Day, and a few times I've played where I've gotten past that, and then I have to backtrack and go, okay, what actually happened on that day that would have made me mist? And so we have to remember, take a note. This day is a mist day, and so this is a good day to just get through secret passages, or if you have heavy items. Actually, what would be great is if I discover a tremendous item and hold on to it. I'm going to be missed, so I can move with it, so that's actually could benefit me. So let's see how the day goes. Let's get some treasure and a rest here. So I'll start by resting this guy over here. Didn't enchant it yet, but then we'll do our 3 searches. So what's our loot now? We got low numbers now. 4. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4 is Eye of the Moon, another thing here. This is for weather, which I don't really use, but I do like it because it is worth gold that I can sell and get items for. That's our first loot, first search of the day for loot. And let's see, keep with the low numbers here. 4 again, so I might be getting down to the bottom here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Ooh, here we go. This I like. This I like because we can now get into the vault, and maybe we'll have to go back and get into the vault, which would get us back here, and then I could go to the chapel. Where else could I sell things at? It'd be hard to get back to the inn, especially since Dragon Essence is there. I've turned into mist. But this is cool because now that I have the Glove of Strength, I can combat and I can carry tremendous items. Or no, I don't know if this doesn't allow me to carry tremendous items, it's just weapons. But I like how this opens the crypt and the vault, so I can get into the vault, which has a lot of treasure also, and it's in an area that's kind of forgiving. With the vault, this only has trolls, which are dangerous, but this is a great, I mean, a tremendous hit. Even though it's slow, having a tremendous hit capability is really cool, especially for a weak character like the sorcerer here. So what have we found here? We've got, I didn't write this all down here, so Okay, I went back to the recording. I couldn't remember what days I did what, so I filled this out correctly. With day 19, we did a lot, and we only had 2 searches, so there's the loot of that. And then I have these first 2, Eye of the Moon and Gloves of Strength. Then I have 1 more search to do, and I already rested the 4 ahead of time here. So I have 1 more search, which is probably 4 left here, right? So yeah, there's not not a lot of treasures left, so I might on this last roll get above a 4, which happens to me sadly, but let's just see. Oh no, I got a 4, so I did pull off at least 1 more treasure here off the Hoard before we have to probably melt to mist here. So 1, 2, 3, 4 is probably gonna be a light treasure, but oh, Shoes of Stealth. Oh, this is cool, but I wish I could use this, but it is a light character only. Activated if weight is L, and that allows you to roll 1 die for hide rolls instead of 2, which is very helpful. But this is for like Elf and Woods Girl and other characters here, which I think is very useful. But my sorcerer, he's a medium weight, so he can't do that. But that's my last search. Let me write that down. So what was it? Shoes of Stealth, right? Yeah. Shoes Stealth. It is my day 20 now. We have to, the bats would come, which I'm going to summon, but I'm going to melt to mist, so we're going to have these 2. The next group is 2 instead of 1. So we have 2 bats show up here at the Hoard, and I'm not hidden. And we are basically they are going to be very difficult because I have magic, but I didn't alert it. I can't run from them, so I'm going to have to spend magic here. I'm going to have to burn this at the evening, so I'll put this down here for day 20. 2 time bats at Deep Woods 6. Melt to mist. And that just gets rid of that. And what's weird, what's ironic about that melting to mist, to fatigue that to melt to mist, is that this day is a purple magic day, so I become mist. So where can I go? What's the best use of my 4 moves here? Because we have to plan out how are we going to sell our goods here. You know, I could, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then I could get to the guardhouse. But let's see, what do we have here? The guards are not my friends, and the soldiers are, I think, right? I might have to find a campfire here because to sell some items. Soldiers are unfriendly. Order and warlocks. I need company, bashkars, and lancers. So, oh yeah, the guard is an enemy. The order are unfriendly, and the soldiers are neutral. No, they're unfriendly. Order, soldiers, and guard are unfriendly and enemies, so I can't sell. And then the inn is basically me turning into purple magic also with the rogues. So I need to find, if I'm going to sell this stuff for gold, I need to go find a campfire. So I guess it's time to search the other woods, because otherwise I'm not going to hit lancers or anybody else that can trade with me, because I need to get some gold for this stuff so I can meet my gold requirement, because I'm still at 10. Even though I think I've met my fame is at 15, so I've met that requirement, and I have 1 great treasure. I haven't learned any spells. Close to having enough notoriety, but we're getting close to the end of the game here. So let's look here. Not a bad treasure dive. And this is, I could learn 1 spell here and learn 1 spell there, but I can't because I don't have the chit for it. So that's just not going to happen. I need the type. You need to have the type chits for this, and sometimes these act as type chits, but Realmspeak seems to figure that out for me here. So let's see. We just have to plan for Purple Magic Day, and where are the woods? There's this woods. They're kind of all bunched together here, so I guess I could go, if I need to enchant through, let's see what this becomes if I enchant it here. Oak woods becomes 5 to 4, so I'd have to enchant it twice. Versus here, which is like 5 to 4, so if I came there, at least I could check on 2 of the woods. Right? Okay, yeah, that might be the way to go. 1, 2, 3, and then we'll enchant it the next day, and I'll know whether there's the campfire here, and then we'll look at these 2 woods to see if I can find campfires. So that's what we'll do. We need to find campfires. So let's move to Deep Woods 1, 2, and 4 of Nutwoods. So Deep Woods, whoops, move Deep Woods 1, move for Maple Woods 4, right? Am I crazy? That was Nutwoods, not Maple Woods. Yeah. Nutwoods 4, move Nutwoods 2, and we'll just leave it parked there, and maybe we'll find a campfire. But I can't do anything because it's missed day, so we'll have to do day 21, purple magic melts to mist for day 21. So it's basically just a movement day. Let's see if we get anything summoned here. In the forests, you mainly are rolls of 3 for forest. Ooh, close. Almost did. Forest spring monsters on a roll of 3 the woods. 2 serpents. Okay, let's do that. That's Birdsong. And let's go execute the daylight. So we're just moving up here as mist. The bats are here, probably still looking around for me. 1, 2, move into the nut woods, and I'm mist for the evening, so I don't even have to worry about hiding. And we get lucked out, large campfire, but I believe the campfire goes to clearing 5. So I'm going to pull this up here, but that's okay because I am a magic user and I can enchant these woods and get over here. So let's do that. Which is since it's basically a safe hex with a campfire. So let's do some saving up here too. So let's rest. Do I have any chits over here, over there? Okay, so I just need those repaired. So we'll rest. Oops, wrong column. Rest. Speed of 5. Rest. Speed of 4. Oops, I'm doing this wrong here. Like I said, a lot of people just put RR. They don't. I don't know. I like putting this detail in here for some reason. Most people just don't even put where they go. They just put MTMMS, you know, like trade, move, search. They keep this really short for whatever reasons. I like to load up some games and I just see the information and, you know, record it down. I don't know why I enjoy it, but I just do. It's fun for me. So my little OCD with this one thing here on Magic Realm. Let's see. We'll enchant the type 5. Speed 5 type 4, and then I also, with that enchanted, I will enchant again the hex so I can flip it. So that's my 5th. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and I use the extra enchant phase to flip the hex. So let's do that. Let's see if anything shows up, which is, I don't think, going to matter because I'm not going to be on the right clearing. Bats. Oh, this would be interesting. When you get a bats roll, instead of denizens, if there are denizens present, you get these visitors, or these kind of, like, there's a mission Scholar, there's a campaign here, there's a visitor. So these are interesting, but you have to have the denizens nearby. So if there was the Bashkars, doesn't bring anything, but the Lancers can bring a campaign, company can bring a crone. This is an extra little variation here that's kind of fun. Alright, so let's do that. That is the that was 6 bats, which would have brought some interesting things. And let's just do that. That's Birdsong. So we are, oh yeah, we're gonna do our resting first, right? So rest the type 4 speed 5, rest the type 4 speed 4, enchant, flip this one back, and then we're gonna enchant the hex, which will fatigue it again. And we can go up here, and now I'm finally able to hit the L key to unlock it, and we'll flip, and we're enchanting the hex to gold magic and lock it back down again, and that changes the path. Sorcerer reaches out and starts pulling the magic, enchanting the forest, and the forest becomes charged with the elven magic that hides within, and it becomes gold, and the trees close in on the old path and they open up on the new path here. And there's a campfire down the way here, and that's like he's in there, his smell of stinky campfire, and he figures he's gonna go check that out. And I'm gonna rest up some more. That'll give me a chance to rest up and charge up, which I need to do, and so I will do that at the campfire. And so let's move over to the campfire first, moving to Nutwoods 5, and then we're going to hang out there for the evening in the hope that denizens show up so I can make trades and sell some items and maybe buy some items that I need. So Nutwoods 5, and then we'll rest type 4 5 again. We'll rest type 6 5. That's 3 actions, and then I will enchant the type 5, type 4 speed 5 again. And since I will be at the fire, maybe it will bring some denizens. So let's find out what the monster roll is here. Oh, you gotta put these back. So this. Put those back on the Hoard. Oh, also, I forgot to do this. Okay, serpents. Not only this was a melt and mist day, but it would basically, you know, on the 7th day these get recalled. But I don't think we have any serpents on the table here. This has been a fairly trouble-free game, which thankfully for me kept me from being killed. Only had to combat a couple of times using transform, basically. Kind of want to take on, maybe I can kill the ghosts before the end of the game and do it without using transform and just do a you guys see a multiple fiery blast missile roll. Should be kind of fun here. So, oh yeah, we're doing executing this here. So what's the monster roll for the day? Come on, give me something good. Ooh, no, that is not going to bring anything. He's here, that's in Chapel House and Guardhouse. I needed a 4, a 5 to bring something to the campfire, or a 2. So I didn't find anything here, but at least we're still charging up here. So move to Nutwoods 5, so we're at the campfire. And now we're going to rest. It's at 5. We're going to rest also the type 6 that I used to transform, which is notated wrong here. Then we're going to enchant this one back to purple. And it was Goblins, which doesn't bring any. Yeah, in Chapel House or Guardhouse brings the patrol, which we don't have. I'm going to hang out for one more evening in the hopes that the campfire brings something. Let's see if we do. Enchant the other, let's see, the other type 4, speed of 4, so I can get that to purple magic. And I will just, that'll be my activities. I don't need to do I need to activate any other thing here? I want to activate the Gloves of Strength, which I do. You don't do this during Birdsong, you actually do it during the daylight, so let me do that correctly here. I want to search these, but I don't want to get cursed. I just have this way of getting cursed, even though I can curse without. I can curse with a single dice. I can search runes with a single dice instead of two, so that's kind of nice. But oh, I should have done this for my rest to get 2 instead of 1. Well, I'll remember that in case I'm in a dire situation. Not bad. 6 looted. What else I want to do here? I just want to see if they'll show up, and if not, I'm going to move on because I want to see if I can get one more fiery blast battle going before the end of the game. So I'm basically enchanting that, and we'll do a roll here. 2, a 4, or a 5 will bring what I want. Alright, a 4. And that's going to bring the Lancers. Perfect. Perfect, perfect, perfect. Okay, so that is... the Lancers are my buddies. And so let's do this. And I can do a trade the next day here. So enchant type 4. I've got all my magic ready to go again. And the 4 brings the Lancers to the campfire, either large or small campfire. And we're at the large campfire, so that's cool to find that. And they're there for the evening. And we are going to do a trade with them. I want to trade, and then we'll do another trade because I want to see what they have. So I'll sell things first, and then we'll see what they have afterwards. And maybe I can move on. Should go see, where else can I go? Where are the ghosts? Oh, they're way down here. I can't fight the ghosts. And where I can get into combat here, there's another forest. There's another forest. I kind of want to find the wolves maybe, or the ogres, so I can do some sort of fiery blast combat for you guys for the video here. I guess we'll try to go to Maplewood. So Maplewoods 2. Let's see here. Move to Maplewoods 2 and then hide. Alright, what do we have? 2 more days. 2 more days. Maybe we can find some in the caves here. Maybe they'll find some goblins in the caves. So let's do that. I have Melt the Mist handy, so we'll go Oakwoods 4 and Caves 5. Move Oakwoods 4, move Caves 5. Not even hiding because I have Melt to Mist. Let's see what we find. Oof. Giants and trolls. Okay, that could show up in a cave. Let's see what we have here. Trolls can show up. I should just probably head to the vault, right, and get the treasure there, but I have to extend the game here. Alright, so let's see. It's Birdsong. Let's do our move into the caves and see what it reveals here. So what? Move down. Sorcerer moves down to Oakwoods and he sees the cave entrance and he ventures into the caves before the evening. We're not hidden, so we'll see what's going on. Ooh, dank smells and the lost city. Ooh, okay, interesting. We haven't encountered a location yet, so this will be interesting. So there's lost city is in the caves in this game. That's a great visual. You travel into caves and it's like underground city in a complex maze of caves. Kind of make you think of like Moria from Lord of the Rings or something, right? Okay, so here's what happens when you get one of these chits. It's actually cool that I got to do this in the video. I have to extend this video here. So the lost city is here. Oh, I don't move that from here, sorry. Lost city. So we go up to the chart here and you'll see that there's these 2 little piles at the top for the lost castle and lost city, and we have the lost city. And I'm going to grab this stack of chits here and you bring them to the hex and you flip them, and we get all kinds of activity here. So the first one is a roar in cave 4. There's a shrine in the 4, so there's a place treasure site. There's patter in the pattering of feet in clearing 2, slithering in clearing 6, and patter in clearing 5, which is right where I am, interestingly enough. And we do have a roar. I'm not hidden, but thankfully I didn't roll goblins or spiders to show up here. But we do have a roar in cave 4. So instead of like this warning chit will bring monsters directly to me, you know, the sight chit, like I showed you before, it brings it to the location, to the clearing. So we do have a roll of 4. That's that gray hexagon is telling us something's coming here. It's roaring in cave 4. So let's see, roar in the cave 4. So we got roar, yeah, and those are the mountains, and maybe we got roar here. So the trouble here is trolls, I believe. And so we're gonna have a couple of trolls. In cave, yeah, a couple of trolls hanging out in clearing 4, roaring down there, probably angry at each other, fighting over some bones, maybe. And let's see, what does that put us at here? So that's day 27. I'm gonna try to hide, and we'll see if some monsters, other monsters, show up. I don't really know. Let's see, could I move to a treasure site? Now I have to find a secret path here. So I guess we'll just roll to see if I fight spiders or goblins or serpents on the last day. So 50-50 chance I can run into some monsters here and have a fiery blast here. So, and I'll try to do it from hidden. So I'd like to, maybe I should alert just in case. Yeah, maybe I'll do that. I'll try to do an alert. I'm going to alert my magic 4, because that'll make the fiery blast a lot more exciting if it happens. Alright, so for our monster roll, let's see here. Ooh, goblins. Okay, that's kind of what I wanted, actually. So I think that's going to bring some goblins to me here. That was what I was looking for. Kind of lucked out. So patter. Let's go to the monster chart. And we're looking for the goblin rolls. We had 2 patter sight sound chits. There was one in clearing 2 and one in clearing 5. So we're going to be bringing 2 stacks of goblins with us. During the evening phase, they're going to prowl into our adventure, and so we know that's gonna happen. So let's get out of Birdsong here and go into daylight. So let's head down here. What do we have? We have the hide, to try to hide before they show up, and then an alerted type 4, which I would have put type 4 since that's my slowest one. Alright, let's try to get the hide. Okay. Alright, we passed the hide. And we need to alert. That was the alert, the type 4. So, yeah, we'll alert this one. Type 4. And then that's the daylight activity. Now we go into evening. So, like I was saying before, we have the 2 patters, and I believe, like I was saying, the patter 2 takes priority from the left, so axe goblins here and spear goblins will come to me, so we can have a little conflict here. Okay, let's grab these guys. We have the spear and the axe goblins. Fly over here. So the axe goblins are going to show up in 2, and the spear goblins will show up in 5, which is where I am. And this is going to, then we can go into combat. So now you can see how we'll resolve this with multiple characters here, multiple monsters on the combat chart here. So to start, let's see here, I'm picking up my, try to let go of my character here. Doop. There we go. Leave him in the clearing, and we'll take these spear goblins down here. Okay, when I run, we're taking the spear goblins down here to the confrontation chart for denizens because I'm firing at them from hidden. And so because I can take a shot at them without them hurting me, they move to this other chart. And Realmspeak handles a lot of these combat, especially with multiple monsters, multiple targets. You'd see if you played in Realmspeak, it has like all the phases of combat in the combat window. It says, the luring phase, the deployment phase, maybe charge phase, and then there's the random assignment, and then you get to actions, basically where you can cast a spell and do things, and then you have to assign a target, and then like we'll do here, fiery blast, and I'm also assigning it with that alerted 4 speed, type 4, which is a 0. So I put it on any lane because I'm an undercut, so we'll hit them all. If this was like not alerted and I was using a speed of 3, I could intercept them, and I could only hit 2 at a time, regardless of what the roll was, because they're evenly distributed here. But we have the speed of 0, so we can hit all of them. We can undercut that speed of 3, and then we'll do this reposition and change tactics anyway to show you how it goes, and then we have to do missile rolls for fiery blast to see if it goes up and down in damage from tremendous. So the first thing we're going to do is we'll do this reposition roll, and I don't know if it matters here. Let me lay these out here. I think with wolves and some other packs, when they flip, yeah, they have different stats. Some of them have different stats. So like the wolves have a few M attacks, and the other ones have L's. And so when you do the reposition roll, it matters which lane they end up in because it makes a difference. Not necessarily on the confrontation chart. I guess if you were going to intercept, we're going to undercut, so it also doesn't really matter. But I'll just run it through the process that Realmspeak would anyway, that it automates it. So we'll do this reposition roll, and just, they would be swapped here. So let's start here. Roll. Here we go. Bam, 5. 5 is, takes this one on the end and then moves those two. So if there was a difference, like those ones here, if I had targeted with a sword, it would make a big difference as far as, does it line up? But I'm targeting with fiery blast and undercutting, so we're still hitting everybody. Even at a speed of 0, if I had a speed of 3, if I use this and it wasn't, alerted, and I had to do the speed of 3, because they're a speed of 3, I still would have to intercept them. It'd have to be a speed of 2 to undercut them. So we're going to do an intercept. We'd be doing an intercept at a speed of 3, and then what lane would matter? Like shooting here, it's like, so these 2 would get hit, and these 2 I would miss if it was like this speed of 4 or speed of 3. But this is 0, so I get to hit them all. And then we're going to do a change tactics, even though it likely doesn't matter. We basically just, anytime there's a 6, it will flip 1, so we have to make 6 individual change tactic rolls here. So let's do that. This one doesn't flip. This one does. Let's see here. This one doesn't. 4th one doesn't. 5th one does. So we get a flip here also, and then see what happens here. We have no flip. So these 2 flipped. Change tactics. It's like, they're using different chits. It's like using the heavy 5 instead of, and then a 5 speed instead of the 3 speed here. So it's kind of the dynamic that happens there when they flip or change tactics. Okay, and then finally we would do a missile roll. And so we have to go against, let's see, these are medium vulnerability with being hit by fiery blast, which is light with 3 sharpness stars, so that's medium, heavy, tremendous. It starts at tremendous, and tremendous would kill right away, but the missile rolls change it, so it can go from -3 levels all the way up to +2 levels. And if we do the calculation here, -1 level would be heavy, -2 levels would be medium, -3 levels would be light. So we can't, we basically get anything but a 6 to do the missile rolls here. So get these down here, and we do 1 for each one. So we'll start up here and just work our way down like we did the other things here. So first missile roll, killed. Second missile roll, killed. Third missile roll, killed. Ooh, we're doing good. Fourth missile roll, killed. Wow, am I gonna clean these out? Usually I don't kill a couple of them. Oh my gosh, okay, hold on a second. You even survived, buddy? No, none of them survived. Okay, that's a rare occurrence. Usually I'll get one or two. Sometimes I even just, sometimes I'll only hit 1, and the rest of them I keep getting 6s, like as if I'm making hide rolls. These should have been better hide rolls today. So I've killed 6 goblins. Now they don't even have to go onto the chart, because what I would normally do, so we have to fatigue this, and then, oh yeah, I had to pay for that with purple magic here. And then they would move after that first shot. The surviving goblins would then move to this chart, and they'd line up in here, and then I would have to make a maneuver to try to dodge them, to get out of, dodge them for 2 rounds to get out of combat or try to kill them. But I would then do a melt to mist once we got to the second round. So I'd charge the melt to mist and get out of the combat, and that would end the combat. And so then we just have to calculate the fame and notoriety, and it's a multiplier when you do multiples. So it would be, let's see here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 1 times, 2 times, 3 times, 4 times, 5 times, 6 times. So you get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. So 21 fame and notoriety for the spear goblins there. So we go over here, we go, 21 and 21, which puts us up pretty high. And then I could write down, day 28. Spear goblins. Oops, I'm doing this wrong here, aren't I? Spear goblins at caves 5. Killed with fiery blast. I'd put 6 times here. 6 times. Killed 6. Fiery blast. And that's our final day here. And then I melted to mist to get out of it. And quite a glorious finish for the sorcerer, actually, to have these goblins put away in the caves. Kind of wish I would have fought the axe goblins too. Probably some of them would have survived. And so it didn't. That's all we vanquished this game, but not bad for a solo game for 28 days. Transformed both these and killed them as small animals, and actually did a proper fiery blast on some dangerous goblins, but used melt to mist to get out of trouble. And that wraps up our playthrough. This is probably pretty long now. It's probably like about a 2-hour video at this point. Maybe I can edit it down. But we would calculate then, what would we have here? So we have, let's look at our victory point tally. We have 1 great treasure, which we have here. And these were all sold, so I don't have those anymore. That's how I have the gold. So 1 great treasure. I didn't learn any spells, so I think this is a -1. Fame is 10, and we have 21, so I get 2 points for fame. 1 point for notoriety at 36. So, or wait a minute, fame is, oh wait, hold on a second. Yeah, 36, so I have 3 points for fame because we got over 30, so that's 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 30 gold, which I have at 40, would be 6. So even if I minus the 1, I still end up with 5 victory points, which is pretty cool. Like, it's pretty good solo for 28 days. Usually I play 2 or 3 month games just to be able to get that requirement, which I think you're supposed to, for every month, you're supposed to add more than 5 victory points. I think it's per week. But for here, managed to pull it off. And that's how you run a game in manually. That's how you run a game. That's how you run a manual game of Magic Realm in Tabletop Simulator. And if you had the tabletop version, you could do it that way too. I hope you had fun watching, and I hope this was educational and entertaining. And we'll see you again soon.